It's 11:42 p.m. You've finally settled into bed. The lights are off, your breath has slowed, the day is over. But something's still happening. Not in your to-do list, not in your inbox, not in your relationships, but in the quiet space behind your eyes. Your brain is preparing to clean house, not just rest, not just shut down, clean. This might surprise you, but the real work of sleep isn't just about feeling refreshed the next morning. It's about survival, not in the physical stay alive kind of way, but in the deeply human way. The kind that keeps you emotionally intact, mentally resilient, and capable of processing the complex reality of being alive. Because every single day your brain is taking in more information, more emotion, and more pressure than it can fully process in real time. And sleep, real, quality sleep, is how your brain resets itself, clears the debris, sorts the feelings, files the memories, deletes the unnecessary, stores the meaningful. Sleep is not a luxury, it's neurological housekeeping. Let's take a closer look at what actually happens when you drift into sleep. Because once you understand the brilliance of this nightly reset, you'll never see your pillow the same way again. Your brain doesn't just turn off when you sleep. It enters a sequence of stages, cycling every 90 to 120 minutes, and each stage has a distinct role. Light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep. And back again, it's a rhythm, a dance, and your brain leads the choreography. One of the first things that happens is a shift in electrical activity. Your brain waves slow down from the rapid, chaotic beta waves of wakefulness into the slower alpha and theta waves of early sleep. This is when your body starts to release tension. Muscles relax, heart rate lowers, breathing deepens. You're still semi-aware, drifting in and out, but your brain is already preparing for deeper work. As you move into deep sleep, also known as slow wave sleep or stage 3, something incredible begins. Your brain's glymphatic system kicks in. Think of it like your brain's sanitation crew. While you're awake, your neurons are firing constantly, producing metabolic waste, including a protein called beta amyloid, which is associated with Alzheimer's disease when it accumulates. During deep sleep, your brain's interstitial space expands by up to 60%, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to wash through and carry away waste. It's like a nightly rinse cycle for your central nervous system. No deep sleep, no cleanup. But the glymphatic system isn't the only star of the show. During this phase, your brain also begins to consolidate declarative memories, the facts, the knowledge, the information you learned during the day. If you studied something new or had an important conversation, this is when your brain begins sorting. Keep this, let that go. That belongs with this other memory. That's not useful anymore. Without this consolidation, learning is shallow, recall is fuzzy, and the world starts to blur. Then comes REM, rapid eye movement, the dream state. Your brain activity ramps back up, resembling wakefulness. But your body is temporarily paralyzed, keeping you from acting out your dreams. And what happens during REM is nothing short of emotional alchemy. This is where your brain processes emotions, not just stores them, processes them. All the subtle slights, the joys you didn't get to savor, the stress you brushed off, the grief you didn't know you were carrying, the fear you swallowed to keep going. In REM, your brain replays these emotional memories, but strips away some of their charge. It's like taking the sting out of a painful moment without erasing the meaning. That's why you can wake up after a hard day feeling a little lighter, even if nothing external changed. Your brain did some heavy lifting while you slept. In fact, studies show that when people are deprived of REM sleep, their emotional reactivity increases. They're more likely to overreact, to snap, to cry, to spiral. Because REM is like an emotional detox, a reset for your mood, your resilience, and your capacity to cope. Without it, the emotional clutter builds up, and suddenly, everything feels heavier. And it's not just emotions. REM sleep is also where creativity happens. During this phase, your brain makes novel connections between ideas. That's why you wake up with solutions, song lyrics, story ideas, or dreams so bizarre they couldn't have come from conscious thought. It's not nonsense. It's your brain recombining fragments of experience into something new. That's innovation. That's imagination. That's nighttime genius. So when you sleep, truly sleep, your brain isn't being lazy, it's being brilliant. It's sweeping out toxins, cementing knowledge, softening pain, sparking creativity, repairing your mind. And the more stress you carry during the day, the more important this nightly reset becomes. But here's the catch. Stress is also what disrupts these cycles. High cortisol, ruminating thoughts, anxiety at bedtime, they all interfere with the transitions between stages, especially the deep and REM phases. That means stressed people sleep lighter, wake more often, and miss out on the very cycles that would have helped them recover from the stress in the first place. It's a vicious loop. And it's also one you can break. Because now, you know what's happening. And awareness is power. You're not failing at sleep. You're carrying too much into the bedroom. And your brain is trying to keep up. So tonight, when your head hits the pillow, remember, this isn't just rest. It's repair. It's not laziness. It's intelligence. You're not wasting time by sleeping. You're doing some of the most important inner work you'll ever do, silently, invisibly, miraculously, while the world outside goes quiet. Your brain is cleaning, sorting, healing. Let it. REM, emotions, and the subconscious, what dreams are really doing. Have you ever woken up from a dream that felt so vivid, so real, that for a few seconds you forgot where you were? Or maybe it was strange, even absurd, like your boss turning into your childhood dog, or you walking through your high school wearing shoes made of toast. And yet somehow, it meant something. It stirred you, confused you, maybe even unsettled you. But it didn't come out of nowhere. Because dreams, as random as they might seem, are never meaningless. They are your brain's late-night theater, and the scripts are written in emotion. To understand what dreams are really doing, we have to look at REM sleep, the rapid eye movement phase. This is where your brain becomes highly active again, but your body stays still, as if your system knows it's time to watch, not act. During REM, the limbic system, especially the amygdala, which processes emotion, lights up. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, your logic center, quiets down. That's why dreams often feel emotionally intense but logically strange. Your brain isn't trying to make sense. It's trying to make feeling. What kinds of feelings? The ones you didn't have time to process during the day. The awkward moment you brushed off. The sadness you buried. The anger you swallowed. The grief you kept quiet. In REM sleep, your brain gives those feelings a stage. Not to torture you, but to metabolize them. To take their charge away. It's like this. If emotion is energy in motion, then sleep is where that energy moves through. And dreams are one of the ways it moves. Think of them like little emotional detox sessions. Your brain replays fragments of the day, but rearranged, amplified, symbolized, mixed with older memories, spliced with meaning. What you get is a narrative that's often weird, but always pointing toward integration, toward healing. For example, let's say you had a conflict at work. You stayed composed, you handled it, but inside there was fear, maybe even shame. You didn't feel it fully at the time. You couldn't. You had to keep moving. But your nervous system didn't forget. And that night, you dream about being lost in a crowded airport, missing a flight, unable to speak. The dream isn't random. It's your brain's way of saying something felt chaotic, something didn't land. It's reenacting a version of the emotion, giving it space to breathe in symbolic form. What's wild is this. Studies show that dreams during REM help reduce the emotional impact of painful memories. One study from UC Berkeley found that people who were deprived of REM sleep retained the same emotional charge around a distressing experience, while those who experienced full REM cycles were able to recall the event without the same intensity. It's not forgetting, it's releasing. Your brain doesn't erase what happened, it just helps you carry it better. And dreams don't just help with negative emotion. They also support creativity, problem solving, and emotional connection. That's why some of the greatest inventions, like the structure of the benzene molecule or Paul McCartney's Yesterday, came from dreams. REM is where your brain plays. It takes apart ideas and reassembles them into something new. It's not bound by time or logic or social rules. That's why it's so powerful. But here's what most people don't realize. If you're chronically stressed, anxious, or sleep-deprived, your REM cycles are disrupted. They become shorter, more fragmented, or delayed until early morning hours. That means you're not dreaming as much, or not dreaming well. And if you're not dreaming well, you're not fully processing emotion, which means you wake up already overloaded. That emotional hangover, that wired but tired feeling, that sensitivity to small triggers, it might not be your personality. It might just be that your brain didn't get enough REM. And that's why protecting your REM sleep is vital. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to dream. You can't control your dreams, but you can create the conditions for them to do their job. Start by honoring your wind down. Your REM cycles happen more frequently in the second half of the night. If you cut sleep short, you're cutting REM short. So those extra 2 hours, they matter. Second, reduce alcohol close to bedtime. It fragments REM. Even if you fall asleep faster, the quality suffers. You miss the deep work. You wake up unrefreshed. Third, give your brain less to sort through. Journal. Talk things out. Cry if you need to. Don't carry every feeling into your sleep. The more you process while awake, the less intense your dreams have to be. And finally, listen to your dreams. They're not always literal, but they are always speaking. What emotions came up? What patterns? What roles did you play? Sometimes, what we dream tells us more than what we're willing to admit during the day. So the next time you wake up from a strange, vivid dream, don't dismiss it. Don't brush it off as nonsense. That was your brain doing sacred work, replaying, rewriting, releasing. Because sleep isn't just rest, and dreams aren't just stories. They're signals, and your job isn't to decode them perfectly. It's to receive them, to notice what part of you is asking to be felt, what part is asking to heal. Because when your dreams speak, it's not your imagination talking, it's your nervous system finally being heard. Stress versus sleep architecture, how cortisol hijacks the healing process. Let's talk about something that's rarely said out loud. You can sleep 8 hours and still feel like you barely slept. You can go to bed early, wake up late, and still wake up groggy, irritable, heavy. And if you've ever thought, I'm doing everything right, why am I still exhausted? There's a good chance the answer is stress. Not just general stress, but physiological stress. Specifically, cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but that name doesn't tell the whole story. Cortisol is actually essential. It helps regulate your energy, blood pressure, immune response, and metabolism. It peaks in the morning to help you wake up. It drops in the evening to help you wind down. That's normal. That's healthy. But when you're under chronic stress, when your body is stuck in a loop of perceived threat, cortisol stops following the natural curve. It stays elevated when it should drop. It spikes at night when it should be low. And that, right there, is how your sleep architecture starts to collapse. What is sleep architecture? It's the structure of your sleep cycles, the rhythm and sequence of stages that your brain moves through each night. Light sleep, deep sleep, slow wave, REM sleep, and back again. A healthy sleep architecture follows a pattern, with more deep sleep in the first half of the night and more REM in the second. This balance is crucial. Deep sleep repairs the body. REM heals the mind. But cortisol doesn't care about that balance. Elevated cortisol levels delay the onset of sleep, reduce time spent in deep sleep, fragment REM cycles, and increase nighttime awakenings. Even if you're unconscious for 8 hours, your brain isn't cycling properly. It's stuck in surface-level sleep. You're not restoring, you're just pausing. And cortisol doesn't just mess with timing, it alters the quality of each stage. During deep sleep, your brain is supposed to go into low-frequency, high-amplitude brainwaves. But with high cortisol, that wave pattern is disrupted. The glymphatic cleansing system doesn't kick in fully. Your brain doesn't wash away waste the way it should. You wake up with brain fog, not because you didn't sleep, but because you didn't deep sleep. The same is true for REM. Elevated cortisol shortens REM duration and suppresses dream activity. You lose the emotional detox, the creative rewiring, the resilience boost. It's like skipping therapy, meditation, and learning all in one. And here's the kicker. Poor sleep raises cortisol even more the next day. Your body interprets sleep disruption as a stressor. So you wake up with elevated stress hormones, you feel more anxious, more reactive. And because cortisol is higher, your sleep is disrupted again that night. The loop continues, night after night. This isn't just an inconvenience. Over time, this dysregulation contributes to mood disorders, memory problems, lowered immunity, inflammation, and even increased risk of metabolic disease. You're not just tired, your whole system is inflamed. So what can you do? First, understand that the problem isn't just sleep. It's stress and sleep. You can't fix your rest without addressing your stress response. This doesn't mean quitting your job or living in a cabin in the woods. It means finding ways to shift your nervous system out of survival mode before you get into bed. One of the most effective tools is consistent wind-down rituals. Not just avoiding screens, but creating a real signal to your body that the threat is over. This could be 15 minutes of low-light reading, gentle music, stretching, journaling, or even a warm shower. The key is consistency. Your nervous system loves patterns. Repetition tells it. This is the part where we stop bracing. Second, timing matters. Cortisol is meant to rise in the morning, not at night. You can help re-entrain this rhythm by exposing yourself to natural light early in the day. Step outside. Open the blinds. Let your eyes and skin know it's morning. Then, avoid bright lights, especially blue light after sunset. Darkness signals melatonin. Melatonin counters cortisol. No darkness, no signal. Third, don't try to force sleep. That raises stress. Instead, focus on safety. Create a space that feels calm, comforting, predictable. Keep a notepad by your bed in case thoughts start spinning. Externalize the loop, then breathe, slowly, long exhale. Remind your body there's nothing to fight tonight. Fourth, if your stress is deeply embedded, trauma, chronic anxiety, unresolved emotional patterns, consider working with a therapist trained in somatic or nervous system regulation. Because sometimes what keeps you awake isn't what happened today. It's what your body still remembers from then. And sleep won't come until that story is allowed to finish. Most importantly, forgive yourself. If you've been stuck in this loop, it's not because you're lazy or undisciplined. It's because your system got stuck in survival. And no amount of melatonin can fix a nervous system that still thinks the world isn't safe. You're not failing. You're protecting. But maybe tonight you can tell your body, gently, patiently, we're not in danger anymore. We can try something different. And that difference starts with awareness. Now that you know what cortisol is doing, you can meet it with kindness. You can meet it with rhythm, with breath, with choices that don't punish your body for being scared, but slowly show it how to feel safe again. Because sleep isn't just about shutting down, it's about letting go. And letting go only happens when the body says, I trust this. Emotional memory consolidation. How sleep helps you move on without forgetting. There's something beautiful and strange that happens after a good night's sleep. You wake up still remembering what hurt, but somehow it doesn't hurt the same way. It's like the sharp edges of that memory have softened. You can still recall what happened. You can even feel the sadness. But the overwhelm is gone. The intensity has shifted. You're no longer drowning in it. You're observing it. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional memory consolidation. When we talk about memory, we often think about facts, names, dates, phone numbers, what we had for lunch. But emotional memory is a whole different system. It's how we remember feeling. The rush of panic in a hospital waiting room, the warmth of someone's arms, the shame of a mistake, the ache of a goodbye. These memories don't just live in our thoughts, they live in our bodies, in our nervous systems, and they're deeply tied to sleep. Here's how it works. During REM sleep, the brain reactivates and reorganizes emotional experiences from the day. But it doesn't just store them like files in a cabinet, it processes them. That means it separates the story from the emotional intensity. It keeps the lesson, the context, the meaning, but it lowers the volume on the emotional charge. In neuroscience terms, this is called affect decoupling. Imagine you had a fight with someone you love. That night, during REM, your brain revisits the memory, not just to replay it, but to evaluate it. What mattered? What didn't? Was there danger? Was there misunderstanding? What do we need to remember, and what can we release? It's not erasing the memory, it's transforming your relationship to it. This is why people who get consistent REM sleep are better at emotional regulation. They don't just move on, they metabolize, they integrate. They're able to recall difficult experiences without being hijacked by them. They grow wiser without growing harder. And it's not just about emotional pain, it's about connection too. Sleep helps us reinforce the memories that matter most, especially the ones linked to safety, love, and bonding. That hug from your child, that moment your friend said, "I'm here." That late night conversation that made you feel less alone. These memories are preserved, strengthened, and made accessible by sleep. It's how we build identity, how we know who we are, and how we know who we belong to. But here's the thing. If you're not sleeping well, especially if your REM cycles are disrupted by stress, medication, alcohol, or trauma, your brain can't complete this emotional sorting. The raw emotion stays. The volume never lowers. You wake up still flooded, still carrying, still reactive. It's not just that the memory hurts, it's that your brain didn't get a chance to file it away in a way that lets you move forward. This is especially true for traumatic memories. When the brain perceives something as life-threatening, whether physically or emotionally, it encodes it differently. The amygdala goes into overdrive. The memory becomes fragmented, disorganized. It doesn't get filed into long-term memory like other experiences. It stays stuck in short-term systems, vivid, sensory, raw. In a healthy sleep cycle, the brain begins to work with that memory, slowly turning it from a flood into a narrative. But with disrupted sleep, that process is stalled. The trauma stays live. The body keeps the score. That's why some people say, "It's been years, but I still feel like it just happened." It's not time that heals. It's what happens during time, and especially what happens during sleep. So if you've ever wondered why certain memories still feel so fresh, so immediate, it may be because your brain hasn't had enough safe nights to metabolize them. Your system hasn't had the opportunity to say, "Yes, that happened. Yes, it mattered, but it's not happening now." And that brings us to something powerful. Healing isn't forgetting. It's remembering differently, with less pain, more perspective, more wholeness. And sleep is the bridge between trauma and transformation. Think about it. What if every night your brain was trying to help you heal? What if your dreams, your cycles, your deep sighs in the dark were all part of a sacred process of stitching yourself back together? Not by erasing the past, but by reframing it. That's what emotional memory consolidation is. A reweaving of narrative, a reorganization of identity. And it only happens when your brain feels safe enough to go there. So tonight, if old memories rise up, if emotions you thought were long gone come knocking, don't panic. Your brain might just be saying, "We're ready now, ready to feel this, ready to file it, ready to move forward." You don't need to control it. Just stay curious, stay present, breathe through it. Let your brain do what it knows how to do, make meaning. Because healing isn't loud, it's quiet, gentle, slow. It happens while you sleep. While you wake up tired, the hidden cost of emotional overload. You went to bed early, no late night coffee, no blue light. You did all the right things, and still, you woke up feeling like you hadn't slept at all. Not just a little tired, but weighed down. As if your body had been asleep, but your mind had been running a marathon all night. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you, it wasn't a bad mattress. It was emotional overload. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Sleep doesn't just rest the body, it processes the day. And if your days are packed with emotional residue, stress, fear, grief, conflict, overstimulation, then your nights become emotional cleanup shifts. The brain doesn't just go offline, it goes to work. Hard work. Emotionally overloaded sleep is like trying to declutter your home at 3 a.m. with all the lights off and half your tools missing. You don't make progress, you just stir up the mess. You dream all night, toss and turn, or wake up in the same fog you went to bed with. It's not that you didn't sleep, it's that your nervous system never got a break. Every day you absorb things. The text you didn't know how to answer, the tension in a meeting, the worry in your child's eyes, that news headline you scrolled past but couldn't shake. None of those things fully land while you're busy living. So they wait, and they show up at night. In dreams, in restlessness, in that deep fatigue you can't shake. Sleep becomes a battlefield between restoration and emotional residue. Think of it this way. Your brain has a to-do list while you sleep. If that list is too long, it cuts corners, it skips deep sleep, it shortens REM, it tries to do triage on a flood of feelings, and the result? You wake up feeling like nothing got resolved, because it didn't. And let's be clear, this doesn't just affect the mind, it impacts the whole body. Sleep fragmentation caused by emotional overload disrupts hormone balance, digestion, blood pressure, memory consolidation, and your ability to regulate your mood. You become more reactive during the day, not because you're weak, but because your system is running on fumes. So what do? You don't fix this by sleeping longer. You fix it by sleeping clearer. That starts long before bedtime. Create an emotional checkout process for your day. Sit for 5 minutes. Ask, what am I still holding? Let the answer come. No judgment. Maybe it's frustration, maybe it's fear, maybe it's nothing clear, just a weight, a fog, a tightness. Breathe into it, write it down, speak it out. Move your body, cry if you need to. Let your nervous system exhale. And then, speak gently to yourself. Say, you did your best today. We can rest now. That simple sentence tells your subconscious, the world is not on fire. We are safe. It's okay to let go. Because here's the truth. Your sleep is only as deep as your ability to release. The more you suppress, the more your brain must process. And when the brain is overworked by emotions it didn't get to feel during the day, it can't restore you at night. So don't just chase longer sleep. Chase lighter hearts. Chase smaller burdens. Chase the kind of presence that lets you feel things in real time. So they don't pile up and wait until 2 a.m. to scream. You don't need perfect sleep hygiene to heal. You need emotional honesty. You need quiet check-ins. You need space to not carry the weight of every conversation, every fear, every memory, every what if. Because real rest isn't the absence of motion, it's the absence of emotional resistance. It's your nervous system saying, nothing is unfinished. We can close our eyes now. And when you wake up actually rested, you'll know. This is what it feels like to carry less. This is what it feels like to be free inside your own skin. That's not just sleep, that's healing. Sleep and emotional resilience. How rest builds strength from the inside out. There's a difference between surviving your day and actually showing up for it, between reacting and responding, between snapping at someone and pausing to breathe before you speak. And the thing that often makes the difference, it's not willpower, it's not personality, it's sleep. More specifically, It's emotional resilience built through sleep. When you sleep, your brain doesn't just shut off. It trains, it strengthens your emotional regulation circuits, your impulse control, your capacity for empathy, for reflection, for self-awareness. In short, your brain becomes a calmer, wiser version of itself. Not in the gym, not in the therapy room, but in the dark behind closed eyes. Let's break it down. Deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, is when your brain consolidates memory and restores its neurochemical balance. It clears out toxins, stabilizes your mood, and reinforces learning. But REM sleep? That's where your emotional resilience is forged. That's where the amygdala, the emotional fire alarm, gets rewired. That's where your brain practices emotional flexibility. Studies have shown that during REM sleep, activity in the amygdala decreases, while the prefrontal cortex, the rational executive part of your brain, strengthens its influence. This means that after a good night of REM-rich sleep, you're literally better equipped to handle stress, to make decisions without panic, to see the bigger picture. You don't just feel rested, you are more resilient. Think about it. How many arguments, breakdowns, or bad decisions in your life happened when you were sleep deprived? How many times did something small feel enormous because you were running on empty? Sleep isn't just about energy, it's about emotional bandwidth. Without it, everything feels harder, heavier, sharper. You misread tone in a text, you take things personally, you lose patience, you spiral. Not because the situation was unmanageable, but because your nervous system was too fragile to hold it. Now flip that. Think of a time you were well rested. The same stress came, but it didn't wreck you. You saw it, named it, moved through it. Maybe you even laughed. That's not luck. That's a well-regulated nervous system at work, trained, strengthened, and nourished by deep quality sleep. This is why resilience isn't just a mindset, it's a biological state, and sleep is what gets you there. But here's what's even more beautiful. Sleep doesn't just prepare you for tomorrow, it helps you rewire from yesterday. Each night, your brain revisits emotionally charged experiences and places them in context. It helps you understand them, integrate them, and reduce their emotional sting. That moment you felt rejected, sleep helps you see it from another angle. That shame spiral you got stuck in, sleep lets your brain reprocess it with less judgment. Over time, this nightly emotional detox builds a kind of quiet sturdiness. You don't lose your sensitivity. You gain perspective. You don't numb out. You grow up. This is the resilience we rarely talk about. The soft, deep strength that doesn't shout or conquer. It endures, it navigates, it breathes. And when you sleep consistently, this strength becomes your default. You're not constantly repairing. You're operating from overflow. You're not surviving your days. You're inhabiting them. So what gets in the way? The modern world does. Our obsession with productivity, the idea that rest is earned, the myth that sleep is weakness. We sacrifice sleep to get more done, then spend our days emotionally scattered, reactive, and overwhelmed. It's a bankrupt system, one that robs us not only of clarity but of compassion toward ourselves and others. But here's the good news. This system is reversible. You don't need a year-long retreat. You need consistent, intentional rest. You need to protect your sleep like you protect your time with someone you love. Because sleep is time with someone you love, your future self. Start where you are, with one night, with one choice. Turn off the noise earlier than usual. Step away from the scroll. Dim the lights. Breathe. Let the day close. And remind your body, this is not giving up. This is rising up the long way. Because the strongest people aren't always the loudest, the busiest, or the most relentless. Sometimes they're the ones who choose to rest when everything says they shouldn't. The ones who know that resilience isn't forged in constant motion, but in the quiet commitment to restoration. And tonight, if you choose to rest, you are rebuilding. You are training your heart to hold more love, your mind to hold more clarity, your soul to hold more peace. That's emotional resilience, and it begins always, with sleep. Neuroplasticity at night, how sleep rewires emotional habits. We talk a lot about changing our mindset, about breaking bad habits, about becoming less reactive, more grounded, more patient. But what we often forget is this: transformation isn't just about effort, it's about structure. And when it comes to emotional change, that structure is neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. The twist: a lot of that rewiring happens while you sleep. Neuroplasticity is a fancy word for something deeply hopeful. It means that the brain is not fixed, it's flexible, moldable, capable of change. The neurons in your brain are constantly forming new connections and pruning old ones. Your thoughts, behaviors, emotions, they don't just live in your personality. They live in patterns, pathways. And those pathways are constantly being updated. Think of your brain like a field of grass. Every time you think a thought or feel a familiar emotion, you walk the same trail. Eventually, that trail becomes a path, a rut, and your brain follows it by default. Reactivity, self-criticism, catastrophizing, numbing. Whatever your emotional habits are, they've been practiced, rehearsed, reinforced. But here's the key: these emotional paths can change. New paths can be carved, old ones can fade, and the brain's preferred time to do that kind of remodeling? During sleep, especially REM sleep. During REM, the brain is incredibly active. It's integrating emotional memories, but it's also restructuring circuits. Neurotransmitters shift. Synapses strengthen or weaken. Neural networks, the clusters of neurons responsible for specific patterns of thought and behavior, are recalibrated. This is where it gets powerful. If you're actively working on emotional growth during the day, if you're practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, challenging old narratives, showing up differently, then sleep is when your brain locks it in. It's when new habits get solidified, when fragile changes become stable systems. In other words, sleep doesn't just support change, it completes it. That's why a well-rested brain is more adaptable, more emotionally intelligent, more capable of pausing before reacting, choosing a better response, or simply letting go. Because it's not just reacting from old wiring. It's responding from new architecture, built during the night, one cycle at a time. And it works both ways. When you're not sleeping well, the opposite happens. The brain doesn't get a chance to prune maladaptive pathways. The anxiety loop stays strong. The overthink every social interaction highway stays wide open. The I'm not enough circuit keeps getting lit up. You keep walking the same emotional paths, not because you want to, but because your brain didn't get a chance to reroute. So let's be clear. Sleep is not a break from personal growth. It is personal growth. It is where integration happens, where change becomes reality, where repetition becomes identity. And that's why how you sleep matters just as much as how you live. If your days are spent mindlessly reacting, scrolling, numbing, ignoring, your brain will reinforce those habits at night. But if your days include even small acts of emotional awareness, naming your feelings, breathing through discomfort, challenging one toxic thought, your brain will say, let's keep that. Let's make it stronger. And it will. So how do you work with this? Start by aligning your day with the change you want, and then protect your night as the sacred space where that change is encoded. Don't just read affirmations, feel them. Don't just go through the motions of gratitude. Let it land in your body. Don't just try to stop a bad habit. Replace it with something better. Every small shift you practice during the day becomes a seed that sleep waters overnight. And if you feel stuck, like your patterns aren't changing, look at your sleep. Are you giving your brain the conditions it needs to rewire? Are you honoring the nightly reset button nature gave you? Because you don't need to force your brain to heal. You just need to give it what it's already asking for: rest, rhythm, safety, repetition. That's neuroplasticity at night. Not flashy, not instant, but real, quiet, lasting. So the next time you catch yourself reacting in a new way, a little more gently, a a little less frantically. Don't just thank your therapist or your journal. Thank your sleep. Because while you were resting, your brain was rebuilding. And that rebuilding is what freedom feels like. You don't need to fix everything before bed. You don't need to have all the answers, or all the feelings processed, or all the pain resolved. You just need to lie down with a willingness to rest, to release, to trust that something in you knows what to do next. Because sleep is not just a break from life, it is a continuation of healing. It's where your brain stitches together torn thoughts, where it clears the debris of worry, where it rewires your reactions, where it reminds you quietly that you're allowed to start again. Tonight, when you place your head on the pillow, know this: you're not being lazy, you're not wasting time, you're doing sacred work. You're giving your nervous system the silence it needs to rearrange itself. You're letting your heart take the night off. You're letting your mind do what it was designed to do: heal in the dark. We've spent this episode uncovering the hidden ways your brain detoxes emotions through sleep, the neurochemical cleanup, the REM rebalancing, the rewiring of old habits. And if there's one truth that keeps echoing, it's this: you are not broken. You are simply tired. And tired things don't need to be fixed. They need to be held and heard and given time to rest. So tonight, maybe don't push through. Don't scroll one more time. Don't overthink your healing. Just breathe. Let go. Give your brain space to do its quiet, miraculous work. And if this episode resonated with you, if you found comfort, clarity, or even just a breath of relief, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs it. A friend, a partner, a parent, a coworker. Someone who's been carrying too much and forgetting that rest is not a reward, but a right. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Leave a review. It helps this podcast reach more people. People just like you, who are learning to break the cycle of stress and reclaim the kind of sleep that heals from the inside out. Next week, we'll explore the link between gut health and sleep, and how your microbiome might be influencing your dreams, your mood, and even your risk for insomnia. You won't want to miss it. Until then, sleep gently. You're not alone in this. You never were.